You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay.
Your flight will be ready shortly, ma'am.
Thank you. Breakfast in Paris. Lunch in London. This could be you. And there's more. Hey, Mai, tell them.
Of course. Now this is what I call a win. And this could be you too in the Globe Festival of Joy promo.
By recharging 50,000 naira or more within a month, you could be among our 100 winners who will win business class tickets from Lagos to Paris to London. If you recharge 100,000 naira or more in a month, you could be one of the many winners of a premium bungalow in Nigeria. The more you recharge, the more your chances to win.
How was your flight?
Delicious.
Glow Unlimited.
Thank you very much for joining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV. You can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Ondo State Chief Judge Justice Olusegun Odushola has sworn in Yetunde Ajanaku Mako as the new Chief Registrar of Ondo State Judiciary. Until her appointment to the new position, Mrs. Ajanaku Mako was the Deputy Chief Registrar. Performing the swearing-in, Justice Odushola maintained that the position of the Chief Registrar is significant, being the highest civil service rank and accounting officer of the High Court, and its pivotal role in upholding integrity of their legal system. Odushola noted that with Ajanaku Mako's proven integrity, wisdom, and the last environmental sanitation exercise for 2023 holds across Ondo states tomorrow. In line with the directive of Commissioner for Environment Sunday Akinwalere, the exercise is without restrictions of vehicle and human movement with the current mood in Ondo State. A statement by General Manager Ondo State Waste Management Authority, Abifola Mowoli, urged residents of the state to use the period to clean their surroundings. He assured them of the present administration's commitment towards regaining the lost glory. We Wood Limited of the Ondo Industrial Hub has lifted the spirits of children at the Mano Children Foundation Ikota with food items. The public relations manager Prince Adewale Omolayo said the gesture was part of the company's corporate social responsibility and in line with the mood of the season of festivity. OSRC's Adewumi Taiwo has details.
It was an atmosphere of excitement and fulfillment at the ARC Children Home of Emmanuel's Children Foundation in Ilara Road, Ikota, Ondo State. The children did not just have the chance to display their talent on the dance floor, but equally had their fill in foods and drinks, courtesy of We Wood Limited. Declaring the event open, the Ondo State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Bumi Oshadaun, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Tokpe Lebili, commended the initiative, which he described as timely and thoughtful. He equally charged the organizers to make reaching out to the less privileged individuals a continuous practice and not a one-off event.
A show of love to the needy. This is what the Lord has commanded us to do. Because He said, I was hungry, you gave me clothes, you gave me food. It is not as if you gave God food directly, but when you provide, but those that are in need, they are given to the Lord.
The public relations manager of Wheelwood Limited, Ondo Leyin Industrial Hub, Prince Adewale Omolayo, paid glowing tribute to late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who he called a pillar of support of the company, even as he noted that the 2023 Children's Fiesta was dedicated to the loving memory of the immediate past governor of Ondo State.
We have a central management. What we do in Wheelwood, we produce plywood, and the major raw material of the plywood is Gimelina. Of course, we have another facility of which we produce ethanol. We have an ethanol plant. The major raw material for ethanol is cassava. So processing cassava to ethanol. And of course, we have the MDF. The MDF processing machine for wood too. What MDF simplified means is medium fiber density. So you use all manner of woods in producing MDF. It has to do with all this particle board you use in doing wardrobe and furniture.
The executive director, Emmanuel Ward Children Foundation, Adaramola Emmanuel, while appreciating the company on behalf of the joyous children, explained that the benefiting orphanages were all drawn from Akure environs.
This is the first time that we are doing it, and we do hope that this will be a continuous thing. We have over 200 children here, and because we used to celebrate children, especially from rural and poor communities.
Former regent of Ibule-Shoro, Princess Moyoluwa Olubunmi Falowo, said caring and sharing represents the epitome of love as the spirit harmony between friends and the members of
the festivity and to join the organization that's come to reach out to encourage their CSR, the corporate social responsibility of the organization, to reach out to communities around them.
High points of the occasion including song renditions, kiddies games, fun quiz, just as all the children smiled on, gift items. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
Reactions have not stopped trading the rehabilitation of the old Port Harcourt refinery, which have been moribund for over a decade. Those who spoke with Osrc in Akure, the Ondo State capital, expressed confidence with by the federal government that product prices in the country will be stable, subsequently leaving a positive impact on the nation's economy. Omonyo Lakunbiji has details.
In the past, Nigeria could boast of 4 major refineries with a total capacity of 445 barrels per stream day. Port Refinery with a capacity of 60,000 barrels per stream day. Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company, 125,000 capacity. Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company, 110,000. And the new Port Harcourt Refinery, commissioned in 1989 with 150,000 barrels per stream day. Upon billions of naira expended over the years towards revamping these refineries, they still give poor operating records, with average capacity utilization hovering between 15 and 25% per annum. Hence, 70 to 80% of the national petroleum products demand is met through importation. As at October this year, records showed that Nigeria was spending about 843 billion naira monthly on the importation of petrol, following the halt in oil swaps by NLPC Limited. But now, the assurance given by the administration of President Bola Tinubu to revamp the moribund old Port Harcourt refinery by December 2023 is becoming a reality, with a recent announcement by Minister of State for Petroleum, Henneken Lokbobire, that the refinery would commence production and gas after Christmas.
And I'm happy that, the journalists that are here are also witnesses to what we're seeing here. The mechanical part is completed, and this is the beginning of, the completion of not just this Port Harcourt refinery, phase 1 and 2.
Vice Chairman, Petroleum Marketer Association, Ondo State Chapter, Idowu Busoyi, described the development a major milestone in the sector, saying the cost of moving fuel from outside the country is killing the economy.
Mr. President has been very, very proactive because he knows his onions, because he knows what to do. He knows the implication if those refineries are working, particularly issue that has to do with our economy. That was the more reason why he set the ball rolling. He worked hard and put everybody in place to ensure that that refinery worked before 2024 as specified. And as it is today, if that refinery can start working as from January, the implication to the economy of Ondo State is just too high. To the economy of Nigeria as a whole is going to be is going to take a lot of multiplier effect.
To an elder statesman, Mr. Ola Iwaeni, the refinery will pump petrol fuel and other products into the Nigerian market and will save a lot foreign exchange.
Little by little, we are getting there under the APC federal government. And not only that, the federal government has promised that the Warri refinery will begin to work, I think, first quarter of the new year. So we have a lot to celebrate about this government.
Mr. Lekon Olajobi, a public analyst, heaved a sigh of relief, explaining that irrespective of the demand, there will be equitable distribution of products with a fair cost to all.
The commencement of operation at Port Harcourt refinery now has become a reality, and their production capacity is about 200 to 210,000 barrels per day, which is a good start from what we had in the past. I don't want to say it's a political statement, because right now we are seeing the concrete realities of what they have said. And I think it's an encouragement to his mantra, renewed hope, for Nigerians right now, that their hope will be renewed, in as much as we have seen a pragmatic approach to what has become a perennial problems in Nigeria, which has been the fuel subsidy, fuel importation, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a welcome development, and I hope that if the superstructure is built upon this foundation, in no time, Nigeria would come back to where it used to be in the Committee of Nations, and the economy at that time would have been revamped.
A politician, Babatunde Faro, believed that the development will change the face of Nigeria economy as more investors with foresight will maximize the opportunity.
Reading that news is a very sharing news, and it's something that we've been looking forward to for a long time. For a country of over 200 million people, an oil-producing country, and we were importing almost 99% of our petroleum product requirements, except for a few instances of AGO that the modular refineries were producing then. So news like this is a sharing news. So what it shows is that at least we can be rest assured that the billions of dollars that we currently expend on importation of petroleum products, at least we can considerably reduce that, eliminate it if possible.
They enjoined the government of President Bola Tinubu to keep working the talk and deliver Nigeria from its current economic shambles. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
The federal government has announced a planned closure of the Osrc and Deniji Adeli Junction section of the Third Mainland Bridge from Tuesday, January 9 next year. The 11.8 kilometers The bridge starts from Osrc, links the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway and Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and ends at the Adeniji Adeli interchange of Lagos Island. Federal Controller of Works Olukorede Kesha, who made the announcement, said the closure would be done on the Lagos Island-bound carriageway of the bridge. She appealed to motorists to obey traffic rules and use alternative routes to prevent hardship, even as comprehensive repairs continue on the highway. The United States mission in Nigeria has condemned the attacks and killings in Plateau. The U.S. mission in Nigeria, in a short condolence message on X, described the incident as tragic. Similarly, France, in a condolence message released through the Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs, also condemned the attacks and killings. It called for the identification and prosecution of the attackers and assured the Nigerian government of its full support. The federal government has vowed that perpetrators will be arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law. President Bola Tinubu says democracy must be progressive and inclusive with a primary focus on addressing poverty through the provision of job opportunities for youth and quality children. Receiving members of National Working Committee of All Progressives Congress in Lagos, President Tinubu expressed support for the establishment of National Institute of Progressive Studies by the party. The president noted that the institute is expected to conduct diligent research and educate all party members on the principles of democracy and good governance while providing a distinct identity for the party. Tinubu called on leadership of the party to target more youth and women in its e-registration and digital membership validation exercise scheduled to be completed in the first quarter of 2024. Former chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, Atairu Jega, has been appointed to the third-man Commonwealth expert team, the CE. CET will be chaired by the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Bruce Gordon. Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland announced the team following an invitation from the Bangladesh Election Commission. Scotland expressed gratitude to Gordon and the eminent experts from across the Commonwealth for their involvement in this critical assignment. The expert team, supported by staff from the Commonwealth Secretariat, will assess the election process and provide observations on its adherence to Bangladesh committed democratic standards. The head of the district police force that investigated South Korean actor Lee Sung-keun over allegations of illegal drug use has defended the tough questioning of him before he was found dead. Elchon Metropolitan Police Chief Kim Ho-jun said the entire process was justified and done with Lee's consent. He expressed deep regret over his death and offered his condolences to his family. Akintunde Akishimala has the detail.
The head of the district police force that investigated South Korean actor Lee Sung-keun over allegations of illegal drug use before his death has defended the tough questioning of the late Parasite star at the news briefing. Incheon Metropolitan Police Chief Kim Young-jun said the entire process was justified and done with Lee's consent.
The investigation of the deceased was conducted based on specific reports, testimony, and evidence, and under legally prescribed procedures.
Lee made 3 highly public appearances before police since October, the last time for 19 hours overnight, leaving the police station on Christmas Eve. According to local news media reports, before his death, Lee had denied he knowingly took illegal drugs and said he was tricked into doing so by a bar hostess who was trying to blackmail him. The 48-year-old was found dead in a car at a park in Seoul on Wednesday after being reported missing, and brought out an outpouring of sympathy from the film industry and the public alike, as well as questions over the apparently harsh and public nature of the probe that fueled media coverage delving into his private life. His film industry colleagues visited the memorial set up at Lee's wake. The police probe comes as part of a crackdown by the government of conservative President Yoon Suk-yeol, who called it a war on drugs. Akintunde Akinshimala for Osrc News.
And that report from the foreign scene, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you in the news that Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has signed into law the Ondo State 2024 Appropriation Bill. Aiyedatiwa promised total implementation of the budgets of 395.257 billion naira, despite the current financial challenges facing state and the country. Ogun State's Governor Dapo Abiodun has pledged the commitment of the Southwest Governors Forum to accord a befitting barrier to late Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who died on Wednesday. Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atari Rujega, has been appointed to the 10-man Commonwealth expert team tasked with observing the Bangladesh general elections scheduled for January 7, 2024. And from the foreign scene, we told you that South Korea police have defended the probe of Parasite actor Lee Sung-kyun, who was found dead in his car. And that's the news tonight. Real time complement of the season.